Hey there, it's Kendra from Scattered Fashionista, and I'm going to walk you through how I plan my month. I'm starting here with my Traveler's Notebook from Red Pen Travelers I just received earlier this week. So I'm going to open it up and take out what we need. So I'm just going to pop out my bullet journal and my monthly calendar. Set everything else to the side and we can start. Okay, so I keep a monthly calendar separate from my bullet journal. I used to keep it in the back of my bullet journal, but I had to change that because, well, I didn't have to change it. I just chose to change it because I'm using the Traveler's Notebook now. So what I do to start off setting up my month is I pull out my monthly calendar and then I create my grid. One thing I've done, one little hack, is I have taken my Erin Condren ruler from my life planner and I've cut off the coil clips and kind of sanded that down for a smooth edge. And I also cut off an inch at the bottom, so it's only an 8-inch ruler, and that way it fits inside of a pocket that I've created for my Traveler's Notebook. I just like having a ruler with me all the time. One other thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video is that in the first scene, at the end of that, my tripod fell over, which is why I had to start a second take. And then I jerry-rigged it to a shelf above my desk and didn't find center for a little while. That's the disadvantage of filming on your own, but I promise I do find center again. I have also purchased a new tripod that should not have that problem. So hopefully you can bear with me for just a minute. I also like to create a traditional monthly grid spread in my bullet journal, simply because that is how my brain functions. I did briefly try the pure Ryder Carroll layout where it's just the months down the left side of the page and then all of your to-dos and appointments on different sections on the right side. And that just did not work for me. And if there's one thing I know about the bullet journal is it's supposed to work for you. So you just tweak it until it's just right for how your brain functions and how you think. You can see also on the right side of my monthly calendar, I have a mileage log and I use that for my business. I do get to write off mileage, which is huge, so I need a way to keep track of that. So this way, it's still all in the same place. If you're wondering, if you do work with a Leuchtturm 1917 A5 size, my daily squares for my calendar are 6 by 6, and that is whether you're working with a dot grid or the traditional grid outline. And then I just give myself 2 lines, I guess, for the days of the week. I like to mark the left side of my page with washi for each month. That way, as I'm flipping through my bullet journal, it's easy to find where a monthly spread is, just because I do flip back and refer to them regularly. So you can see each month here has a different strip of washi down the side. They don't have to be different colors. You could do the same color, but I just like that for the fun. But again, it is just to make it easier for me to find the page I'm looking for. I wanted to point out that I do like to use fancy lettering for my headers, like for the month or the week or even the day sometimes. However, it's important to note that whether you're planning in a traditional planner or a bullet journal, you don't need to be fancy. All that is important is that it functions for you and that you can read your own handwriting. And if not, maybe you should go digital. But I do like to make my planner colorful and fun simply because that is therapeutic for me. And I don't know, it just makes it more fun to look at for me. So you got to go with what works for your personality. While I do not necessarily do something work-related every day of the week, I do like to have all 31 days, or 30, or 29, or 28, as the case may be, down my mileage tracker, just because that helps me see how much I am on the road for work purposes. After I've filled in the dates on my calendar and my mileage log, then I go and I grab the pictures I've printed for family birthdays. I do have a few friend birthdays that I print pictures for, but pretty much it's just family because I do have such a huge extended family. And I put those on their birth date just to remind me and to make me happy. And then after I've completed that, I fill in all the other appointments and other things that are happening that month. For the photos, I use my zip printer. It's a Polaroid zip printer, and I will link to that in the show notes. You can order that from Amazon. You can order that from Erin Condren. I say go wherever you get the better deal. I like to record my appointments in different colors based on a color code I use. It doesn't always happen, and especially as I'm adding things to my calendar throughout the month. But generally, I record things that are work-related in green. If it's a family appointment, whether it's having company over or going somewhere as a family, that is orange. If it's something where I am leaving the house alone, it's pink. And then after that, I just go with whatever happens to be in my hand, usually a black pen. I've mentioned before that I've tried to do monthly challenges and I don't keep up with them very well, but I have found one that I am consistently catching up on, and that is the Zen Art Challenge. I think the Facebook group is Mindful Creativity with Tangles, and I will link to that in the show notes as well, but it's just doing one Zen tangle pattern per day. You can make it all fancy and do your own tile or whatever, but that is all I really have time to commit to. So I stop there and just do a little square every day, or, if I fall behind, 4 squares in one day and 3 the next. One of my favorite lettering tricks is faux calligraphy. And what you do is you just write in your normal handwriting, not print, but script or cursive or whatever you want to call it, and you darken all the downstrokes. So you just add a little weight to the downstrokes. And here in this smaller picture, I'm not taking a super long time to do it, so it's not excessively neat. But if you take your time, it's a pretty good fake out for people who are used to calligraphy. And it's a good trick for people like me who do not have the patience for calligraphy. At the beginning of each month, I also create my BHAGs for that month, and that stands for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goals. And what I have in that section is just main areas of life and work that I'm focusing on. So here I'm working on some courses, my blog goals, family and home goals, social media goals, health goals, and my premier business goals. And then at the bottom of that page, I just kind of keep track of my stats, mostly on social media, just because I want to see if what I'm sharing is making an impact and benefiting people. It's also fun to create a memories page. In the past, I did try to draw all my memories, but now I am using my zip printer to print most of the ones that are important to me, and I will flip back later in this video to show you some of my July memories, but it just is a fun way to keep track of the highlights of that month. This month, I'm trying something new in keeping a food log, just to see how different foods affect my energy level, and also because I sometimes fail at taking good care of my body and feeding it as often as it needs to be fed, because I do tend towards low blood sugar. So I want to see what foods keep my blood sugar decent and what foods give me energy throughout the day and for the next day, and also just to see if anything causes irritation or drowsiness or whatever it is. do many people, I like to keep a monthly tracker of certain practices and habits I want to maintain in my life. Some of those this month are getting up by 5:30, practicing my miracle morning, exercising, having Bible time with my kids, taking vitamins and making sure my kids have theirs, checking all my email accounts, blog and YouTube, Instagram, my courses, no TV after 9 p.m., no sweets, in bed by 10:30, and also I just added one last night, no wine after 9 p.m. And this, my friend, is one of my favorite parts of the monthly planning process, and that is decorating or just adding a little bit of color to my pages. Right now I'm having fun with watercolor pencils. I use Derwent, and I will link to those in the show notes. And I'm creating an ombre look here. In this picture, I'm starting with a lighter color on top and a darker color on the bottom, and then I will blend them together using my watercolor blending marker. This is by Artist Loft. I got it at Michael's, and if I'm able to find it online, I will link to that in the show notes for you. I've tried in the past to actually use a damp paintbrush, and the pages in the Leuchtturm 1917 cannot handle that much water. They just get all bubbly and gross. So this pen is something I found actually by the woman who created the Zen Art Challenge. She had posted something on Instagram, and I am in love with that marker. So it's something that definitely makes my pages more fun and makes me look a little bit more artsy, which I really am not. that I can reference it quickly, I like to add a page tab to my BHAGs page. And these tabs were actually custom made for the Lloydstrom 1917 by Kelly of Beyond the Paper Flower. She has an Etsy shop and also a great Instagram feed. So if you like planner stickers, you need to check her out, and I will link to her in the show notes. But I just add that right there so that as I'm working through the month and working on my goals, I can easily flip to that page and find it. And then what I do is I trim the old one because I don't want to confuse myself. So I trim them each month. So they're still there, but they're not sticking out for me to grab that page quickly. And this is the finished product. I still need to enter the names of the tangles down on the Zen Art Challenge and fill in my BHAGs for the month of August. The memories I will fill in as the memories happen. I'll just print those pictures or jot those notes down. And as for the food log, I will do my best to fill that in every day, enter things in my tracker in the evening. And the last step is to make sure that the index is up to date. So I look, I see that I have a time log I haven't recorded. So I head back to the index and enter that item. And then I see that August begins on page 190, so I jot that down. Make August a little thick so that it stands out from other entries so that the months stand out. And then I'm going to jot down that July ended on page 189. Then it's time to put everything away. So I'm going to pop my bullet journal back into my traveler's notebook. Put my ruler in the folder that I created. Stick my monthly calendar back in there, and we're good to go. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, and share.